Hello and welcome. This is J.A. Darden, and thank you so much for making the decision to take advantage of the information that I promised you on the page that you just filled out. And I'm excited to have you here, and I'm going to do my very best to live up to what I just shared with you. And again, you just clicked on some information so that you could get something that talked about this right here: how to increase your personal banker and MSR sales, grow your revenue and profits while building a lifelong relationship with your members and your customers. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in so we can go on and get started. So the first thing is my promise that I'm going to deliver to you, and I'm going to share with you what those three things again that was on the other page that we just talked about. And the first thing was to identify the one thing, the one key concept that is standing in the way of your bankers and your member service representatives, if you're a credit union, that's standing in the way of maximizing their sales and their opportunities, the sales opportunities they have there. So I want to kind of talk about that because over the many years that I've been working in financial institutions, I've noticed and working with sales folks that there's this one thing that I have identified, and it's repeatable over and over and over again, that's standing in the way to keeping them from maximizing the sales opportunities that they have in front of them. So I'm looking forward to kind of sharing that with you. And the second thing here is how to create a revenue generating culture that your team will become absolutely excited about being a part of. And if you're going to have success in your business, you know that you have to have a culture that is conducive to the overall success that we're looking for. So I'm looking forward to sharing that. And then last but not least, the last promise here is how to deliver the type of experience that your customers and your members will run to tell their friends and their family about. And we all know that if we can have word of mouth marketing, we can have people going out and singing our praises, telling others about the incredible world-class service and products and different things that you have to offer your members and your customers. That's what you want. I mean, that's free advertisement. We'll take that all day long. But it's people who feel so empowered by the work that you've done and your folks have done that helped them when they were belly to belly, face to face, offering them the opportunity. So here are my three promises. These are the three things that I said that I would do, and I'm going to work really hard to make sure we get this information, this life-changing for your business information over to you. So with that being said, just a quick overview of who I am and why I'm talking about this. So again, my name is J.A. Darden. I'm a best-selling author, and I have over 20 years of sales training experience, and over 10 of those years have been in the financial industry, where I have been working with branch managers and personal bankers and working with district managers and above, anyone who's in that realm, and assisting them to help them to be successful delivering world-class products and services to their members and customers, as well as working with the C-suite. So that's the CEO and the executives from that standpoint, to help to nurture, to move the needle to the next level in terms of how do we get performance while at the same time delivering the world-class experience that we need to be providing for our customers and our members. And of course, I'm a business growth advisor. Got folks that have me come in to sit with them and take a look at snapshot of what's going on and to help them move the thing to the next level, the business to the next level. Sometimes it just takes a second set of eyes. Sometimes when you're in the thick of it, really can't see the forest for the trees, but having that second set of eyes, and people have me come in to do that, and I love doing that to help and adding support. And then last but not least, here it is, I'm the founder and lead trainer for the Rapport Selling Academy and Branch Manager Mastery. It's my life's work, and I'm excited about sharing some of the concepts that's actually shared there in those trainings here with you today. So with that said, this is not about me. This is not me to try to blow my own horn or anything like that. I just wanted to share who I am for those of you who are not sure quite who I am and who this guy is talking about this. But I'm going to move it away from me, because right now it's all about you and the value that I can help you with today. So with that said, I'm going to share with you real quickly of why on earth, why am I doing this? Why did I decide to kind of share this information with you? Well, again, I kind of share it with you. I've been in this industry for a while now, and actually have been in the trenches. I am what I like to call my students, I am a trench manager. So I know what it's like to be in the trenches, roll up my sleeves, and to be neck and neck with my team. And I did that as a branch manager and leading multiple branches and that sort of thing, and really helping advising other managers over the years. And one of the things that I really got passionate about is I knew that there were things that we could help with. I saw that the standard training that's out there just wasn't getting it done. I mean, it was like teaching people how to, about certain products and services. Maybe you have trainings like that teach your member facing or your customer facing personnel the products and services and that sort of thing, and maybe how to sell it because of the features and some of the benefits maybe, but nothing that really shared with people how to really build a mutual relationship, a lifelong, lasting relationship with your customers and your members that would build success long term, like for years to come. And by default, doing that and focusing on that would drive momentum for the organization, would also help the salesperson to be successful, but ultimately, the most important, would add value to that member or to that customer to provide that next level service that all of us are passionate about delivering. So I didn't see a lot of that. And for me, having a lot of success and driving production and really, hitting through all of my core competencies and key indicators and performance indicators and leading from having success from that standpoint, I really wanted to help other people. And I had some of my colleagues that asked and said, how are you having this type of success? And I started to share with them the reason why was because I cracked the code and how to really have success in sales by not letting it be a focus about the sale, but letting it be a focus about the person who's sitting in front of me, that customer, that member, the need that they have. And if we're able to fill that void and fill that need, then we could have the success as an organization if we put our focus on the right piece, if that makes sense for you. So why am I doing this? Again, this is the deal. When you can have someone who can say that you did the right thing and you're taking care of the customer and you're providing the service that you need to for your member, that's what means the most to me. And I'll share this with you. The biggest compliment that I ever received in my life, in terms of what I do in my career. I had a customer that came to the branch every single day, and she used to come in and say, hey, I'm bringing in my penny. She had been a customer of the bank for many, many years, and I left that location, and she followed me to another location, and had some of my team over there, and she continued to follow, and she was a loyal customer. And the thing about it is that one day we got that dreaded phone call that she had passed away. And it was devastating, not only to myself personally, but to my entire team, because she was a mainstay. She would come in at least 3 times a week and would come speak to us and spend some time with us and do a little banking business. And she was just such a joy. It was just what she would bring into that atmosphere every time she would come. And so we were devastated by that. But this is my point. Not only have we delivered fantastic and wonderful and exceeding customer service for her, but she had brought other people because of the services and the rapport that we had with her. She brought other customers over, and we got a chance to meet her family. And as a result of the things that we had done and great taking care of her, I was asked as the manager to go and to have a talk, to speak at her homegoing funeral services. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know too many people that are bankers that get a phone call, and that's in the financial industry, and get a phone call to their banker to come and speak at the eulogy of one of the customers. But the family asked me to come do that. And that was one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. And to this day, I hold it dear to me. And I think of her often. And I hold that one thing in my mind when I'm talking to managers and leaders about how to really be at the heart center of what your member and what your customer needs when they come in through those doors. They're looking for that help and that sincere assistance. And so I just wanted to share with you, that's why I do this. I do this because of Miss Johnson and that memory. And I also do this because I know that this is life-changing work. So that's the reason why I'm doing this. So I just wanted to just share with you, and I'm going to jump right in and share with you what the X factor is. And this is the deal. I want you to catch this right now. That the X factor, if you're going to look for that one thing that's like, what does it take some organizations from here to the next level? Why do some have success faster than others? Why are they acquiring new customers and members? Why are we having our KPIs, our key performance indicators going through the roof in some instances and in some areas and some not? And one thing that I've found is this right here. And it's that you really want to have an army of sales professionals and not just a swarm of sales amateurs. Let me kind of repeat that. You want to have an army of sales professionals and not just having a swarm of these sales amateurs. And so there's a difference between having a grouping of amateurs in your organization, in your financial institution. People who just know that I offer this program or I have this service and know that this is a particular checking account that we offer, and to be able to just rattle off some features. Okay, because customers and members need more than that. We need professionals in your organization. We want to have professionals that can solve true problems for the customers and the members that walk through your doors. And so you want the X factor here for people who are having tremendous success is because they know that without a shadow of a doubt that we've got to take our game to the next level. We just can't have the run-of-the-mill folks who are just being order takers because somebody comes in and says that's just what we need, so we just fulfill the need. We've got to do better than that. Our consumers are smarter than that. They're well-versed in the products and services now. It's at their fingertips. It's a cell phone, right? They can Google and find out exactly who has what and who's rated like what, who gives the best service and who has the best products. So it's not that easy today to just be an order taker, but you have to be an advisor. You have to be that advocate. And so that is when you take the game to the next level to become a professional and not just an amateur. So let's kind of talk about this. What's the one thing? The one thing that's standing in the way and keeping your PBs or your MSRs from taking themselves to the next level to maximizing the sales opportunities? Well, the first thing, let's talk about what most amateurs do. So let's identify the issue and the problem here. So most amateurs, they concern themselves more what they have to sell. So it's all about them. It's all about their focus. So I don't know, have you ever been somewhere where the person was all about you? I mean, all about them, the focus the sale they had to make, all about what they needed to get accomplished, what they needed to do, and all of that. And it really wasn't centered around yourself. How did that make you feel? I mean, seriously. And that's what amateurs do. They're focused about, I got to sell, fill in the blank, whatever the gadget or widget is, the product or service or the checking account that you have there. Or they're focused on going out and because there's a loan drive, and so we're going to focus on selling loans. So they're only focused around what can I do to get what I need to get done. Not so much focused on the needs, the wants, or the desires of that member. They're not focused on the desires or the needs or the wants of that customer. It's all about them. Now, the thing about it is that what do most sales professionals do? Well, they switch that thing around. See, what they do is they focus on how they can deliver on the result and or outcome that the customer or the member wants, what they need, and what they desire. You see the difference? It's about the result and the outcome. It's not about what I have to do, but I need to figure out when this member came into this credit union, I need to figure out what it is that I need to assist them with because obviously there's a need. And I need to be the person who can feel that need or at least be the advocate or the consultant to assist them to figure out how I can help them with that outcome. Because there's a desired outcome or desired result that customer or that member has, that what they need, right? And what they desire. So how can I be that person to deliver on the result that they're looking for? Whether that is, I'm having issues with, I'm kind of at my wit's end in terms, I don't think I'm saving enough. I don't think I'm invested the right way. Or, the checking account that I'm currently in, is it giving me the value that I'm really needing? The professional knows how to ask good questions to get to the bottom of things so they can figure out what that outcome needs to be. You see, sometimes the customer or the member, they don't know themselves truly what they need. That's why it's our responsibility to ask the right questions. My grandmother used to say to me all the time, says, Jay, a really smart person, they listen twice as much as they talk. That's why the good Lord granted you with 2 ears and 1 mouth. And when I was little, I was like, what are you talking about? But it was a really cute way to say you got to do more listening than you do talking. And when you're going to be a professional, you need your salespeople, your sales professionals. You need them asking really good questions. You need them finding out really why the person's there. See, when someone comes in and they need to make a deposit, that's awesome. What are we doing beyond that? Are we asking them how things are going? Are we asking them and digging deeper to figure out if there are other ways we can help and support them? And when your focus is all around the result and the outcome and how we can add value, then and it's centered around what they need, the customer needs, what the customer wants, and what the customer desires, then we'll know how to really start to now get under the layers and start to fill in the voids, okay? Now, your customer and your members, believe it or not, they're tuned in to one radio station, their favorite radio station. You say radio station? Yeah. And what it is WIIFM. What's in it for me? Now, many of you have heard that, what's in it for me, but that's the truth. They're not concerned about that your checking account's got a gazillion different features. Well, ours, it'll give you these type of perks and this perk and this bill and this whistle. And they're going, okay. But you're a sales professional. Well, you're sales amateur at that point, right? They have not fully asked enough questions to really figure out how they do their banking currently. What ways are you currently using your checking account? Do you bank somewhere else? Great. How long have you been banking there? Is it a credit union? Okay, great. So how long have you been at that credit union? What kind of features on that account that really excite you? What do you need on your checking account right now moving forward that you think is important to you? What type of balances are you currently accustomed of having in your account? Do you use direct deposit? What percentage of that do you save or splice off? Do you do a checking and a savings and split off so you can have that automatic savings put in place? See, these are all questions so that I can ask and figure out and understand so that I can make a good recommendation. Because the person who's sitting in front of you could care less about a gazillion bells and whistles. And that's what we think. So if we can add more bells and whistles to our checking accounts and whatever else that we have, and I'm sitting there talking to, and the conversation is all about that, I'm going to lose that person who's talking to me. I'm going to lose that person who's sitting in front of me because it's not about them. Because when I'm not asking the questions and what's going on and how can I add value, and I'm not asking the right questions to get to the bottom of that, then I'm missing them altogether. And then I'm not able to maximize the opportunity that I have in front of me. And so your customer and your members, they're not focused on all of that. They're focused on what's in it for me. They're selfish. And so what we've got to do is we got to realize that, and we've got to add the value, okay? Now, this is the next thing. How do we move our personal bankers and our member service representatives? How do we move them from the amateur level to the more professional level? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. And it's one thing. It's called a mindset shift. See, you got to shift the mentality. The majority of this is what I noticed too. And when I talk about why I did this, because, we can teach people about the checking accounts and the loans and the credit cards and the lines of credits and the this, that, and the others and the home equity line. We can teach people about that. And we can help people to maybe ask some questions, some opening questions and things like that. But what we need to have our people do, what you have to have your team do, is you got to get them to have a mindset shift. Because now they've got to start thinking differently. And if they think differently, then it will help them to create a different philosophy. See, the way it works is if you have different philosophy, which is your mindset of why I'm here, what am I doing, and why is this person here, and how can I add the value? So it's a mindset shift. So that helps my philosophy. And then my philosophies will lead to my belief system, my beliefs. And then my beliefs will affect my attitudes. My attitude will help my action. And then my actions or my activities then will lead to my results. You see what I'm saying? So the mindset has to be in a way that helps your people to really figure out what's going on. Like, why are we doing what we're doing? Why is this a significant push this month? Why are we doing this? If the push, we're going to be doing loans, specific like mortgages or something, that's fantastic. So how can I ask the right questions so that I'm making sure that I'm adding the value? And then if somebody doesn't need that right now for themselves, how can I build rapport with them so that if an opportunity lends itself in the future, I'm the first person they think about? Then how do I then think through that where I can ask for referrals while I'm sitting here? Let me take a timeout, a station identification break, if you don't mind. Let me just ask you, how confident are you right now, sitting where you're sitting, that your people are going into that level of detail in terms of how they think about the person sitting in front of them, or the opportunity that's sitting in front of them? That member, they have needs, they have a desire, they have wants, they have outcomes and results that they're looking for. Do you think that your folks are thinking through it that deeply? Well, if they're going to take the game to the next level, they've got to have a mindset shift. Now, I love this quote right here by Og Mandino. And he says, always do your best. Well, that's great. Always do your best. And he says this, what you plant now, you will harvest later. Think about this. Always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later. And the thing about, I love that. That's a mindset shift, because think about it. It's not about the now. It's not about always, I'm going to get the sale right at this moment. And sometimes that's what hurts building rapport. Because if you're a salesperson who's an amateur approach, is about what can I do to get you in this car right now? Using the used car salesman type of approach, okay? I mean, if that's the mentality, you're going to run people away. Because sometimes we just need to plant seeds. And then we nurture the seeds and we water the seeds and we give the seeds sunshine. Well, what is the water? The water is the consistent touching and flowing. Sunshine, what is that? Every now and then we're reaching out to them and making sure that things are okay. We have a follow-up system to ensure that things are going well. We're watering the seed. Because before long, when we plant that seed, later on, we can reap a harvest. So not every time is it something going on right now. But if we shift that mindset, our philosophy now is different. Now we believe it. Now we have a different attitude about how we approach our sale. You see what I'm saying? And if our attitude is different about how we approach it, then guess what? Our activities change. What we do and how we do it will change. And ultimately, when our activities change, then we can lead to a different result. So it's all about the mindset shift. So let's plant some seeds and let's harvest some things later. And so that's the difference. That's how we move people. That's how we move people from an amateur status to a more professional status. And I know in the Rapport Selling Academy, and especially in Branch Manager Mastery, we talk quite about this, because there are programs out there that talk about, this is how you close the sale and things, but none of that matters. None of that matters about how you close the sale if the mindset's not different, because I can be about asking some questions that hog tie somebody into saying yes, but is that the right thing to do all the time? The right thing for me to do is to figure out what their needs are and position myself as the consultant or the advisor, and I'm trusted by my member or my customer, and I plant the seed. And if today's the right time to close the deal, I'm going to do that. But if not, guess what? That's okay. But I'm going to cultivate that relationship. And as I'm cultivating the relationship, no telling how much other stuff will come. Because not only am I a help to them, but guess what? They want my people, my family, that's what they're thinking, the customer or the member. If they do me like this, I don't mind sending my family and my friends to them, because I know how they're going to treat me. Because think about it, how you do them is how they expect for you to do the people that they're going to recommend. Okay? So this is huge. This is huge right here. If you're going to take your team to the next level, you've got to work on a mindset shift and get all of your team thinking differently. And that's what you got to get done. So now this is the next seed. This is the second piece that I promised you. How do we create a culture, a revenue generating culture that will help your team to become excited and to be a part of it? Because we want them to be excited to come to work and to really say, this is an environment that I know I can thrive in to be successful. Now, creating the right culture, this is what a culture is. It's a way of thinking, it's a way of behaving, it's a way of working that exists within the financial institution. So it's the way we think. There it is again, mindset shift. And then we talk about behaving. What is that? That leads to our activities. It all boils down to the things we do, our working that exists within the financial institution. So that's our culture. It's the way we do what we do. Right? That's just what the culture is. We're going to do right. We're going to treat our members and our customers right. We're going to always tell them the truth. We're going to do what we do. It's the way we conduct our business. Right? So that's the culture. Now, I'm going to show you my personal definition of what having a culture is. And it's your beliefs and your actions based on what you truly believe creates your culture. Let's try that again. Your beliefs and your actions, your belief system and what you do based on what you truly believe. And I underscore and I underline the word truly, because we have our value statements. I'm sure you have value statements in your mission statement in your institution. But let me ask you, how many people do you really know understand the vision and the mission that they are sold on it, that they have true ownership to that. See, they have to truly believe in the mission that you set out. They have to truly understand it, and they have to really believe it. And they want to be a part of it. And so your beliefs and your actions based on what you truly believe, that's what creates your culture. Okay? And so what do we need to do in order to do that? So there are a couple of things, six core things that we need to be thinking about that's going to help drive and create a thriving culture. 6 components. Okay? Now, I'm going to go through these 6 really quickly. We go in much deeper in the Rapport Selling Academy, where we dig deep really in that training, as well as in the branch manager mastery for the leaders. We really dig deep because they really have to understand this as they're driving production for their teams, right? But here they are, real briefly. Number 1, the vision. See, painting the vision, knowing what the vision is bigger than just having a vision statement. See, it has to be throughout the organization. Where are we going? Everyone, including that part-time teller, needs to understand where this financial institution is going. Where's your community bank going? Where's the credit union headed? You as a leader and your entire leadership team need to be pointing that, and they need to see leadership not only articulating the vision, but living up to the vision and leading them where they need to go. This is powerful. This is where we're going, because without vision, a great book says, the people perish. Okay? In other words, your team will fall by the wayside if they truly don't understand, in essence, where we're going. Where do we see ourselves in the next 12 months? If you were to go right now and ask anyone in your teller line, where are we as an organization? Where are we heading? What are we trying to accomplish? What are we trying to get done? What would they say? Okay. For that matter, let's go to the platform. Let's ask any of your member service reps, any of your personal bankers, your CSRs, customer service representatives. What would they say? Would they know? Okay, let's move it up a next level. What about your assistant managers and your branch managers? Would they be able to articulate truly what the vision of the financial institution is? Where you're headed, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish, and the way to get it there? See, the thing is that if you want to have a thriving culture, you have to make sure that the vision is plain and it's well mapped out for your entire team. The next thing you got to focus on, your core values. See, your core values, they're the guidelines that help to create, to help put in place and to lead you to having success with the vision. See, if you don't have what I call having bumpers, like in playing bowling. All right, playing bowling. I love to bowl, not very good at it, but sometimes people need a little help, right? You see some of the lanes will have the bumpers in the lanes. Well, sometimes the values, that's what I kind of look at when I look at values. They're the bumpers to make sure that the ball stays in the lane. Because sometimes we may fall off a little bit, but these core values will say, no, here's the vision. And if we're going to really maintain the vision and make sure the vision is understood and followed through with, we've got to make sure these values are in place and that we can keep the things going. Okay, so we got to make sure our values are there. The next thing are practices, what we do. So back to our activity again. What do we do to make sure that we're staying true to our values, continuing to do that so that we can make sure that we're ultimately achieving our vision? All of these build on each other. So the practices are important. It's what we do. It's how we do it. The next thing, people. We have to have the right people in the right place. Because if you don't have the right people in the right place, you will fail. Okay? We've got to be able to identify who the right people are. And sometimes we have a good employee or a good team member, but they may be in the wrong role. Sometimes it's not making people go away. It's finding the best place for them. I had a teller one time. He was a terrible teller. He couldn't, the poor guy. I mean, great employee. Loved him to death. Gentleman just could not count money. And he was a teller. Couldn't count money. Just drive me crazy. But one thing I did notice, people loved going to his window. All of the customers knew him. They knew him. And they loved him. People would stand and wait for other people. No, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for Derek. I'm going to wait for Derek. And they would stand there and wait for him. Because he knew how to talk to him. He knew how to ask. He knew everybody. He knew the husband's name or the wife's name. He knew the children's. He knew the dog's name. He knew if they were going on vacation. He had all that down. He could build rapport. The guy was awesome. Just couldn't count money. And I got to the point where I was about to have to do something about that, because you can't be in a financial institution being a teller and can't count money and your drawers always, always messed up. But what I did was I said, you know what? This guy not only is a fantastic teller from a standpoint of building rapport, but he was phenomenal. He was top 3 in our market, top 5 in our region, okay, for teller referrals. The guy could sell. He just knew how to do it, and it came so natural. And he really wasn't selling. He was just asking really good questions. And he would say, we have something for that. Let me get you with so-and-so, and they'd be more than happy to assist you. And so what I did was I helped him to change positions where he would thrive. Because if he stayed in the same role, basically he was, on paper, he needed to be fired. But he excelled in a new role. We just got to get the right people in the right place. So this is important in order to have a great culture. The next thing is your narrative. This is all about your story. And I talked earlier about the vision. And you got to ask yourself the question, does your team know, how you started, how everything got to where it is and where you're headed? Can they articulate this in the marketplace when they go out and someone says, hey, you work at so-and-so, see their shirt. Hey, you work at so-and-so and so. Wow, how long you been working there? And they can talk about the story of their institution. So you got to be able to paint this picture and be able to have the story in place, because that's how people relate. People relate in story. They relate in the narrative. So help them by really being able to understand as a complete culture what's going on with you in a story form. And then last but not least, you have to have the right the place in place. And what do I mean by having the place? What this means is everyone who's adding support. So are your partners are in arm's length, management in arm's length to support the people who are out there doing it every single day. So the place where you have your people set up and the way it is, if it's in a distance, or do they have the ability to reach out? This is important, because having the ability to have partners close by to be able to help and to support. Some of you have, mortgage support partners or investments. Where are they? Are they easily accessible? Can we get to them so that if there is an opportunity here at the desk, I can easily get them or set an appointment, but make that connection, because the best time to get them is right when they're there. To build that rapport, and the rapport has been built, the best time to convert on that is face-to-face, belly-to-belly. So where are your partners in place in terms of how I can help them and get them in the right positioning, if that makes sense? So if you have these 6 core places, and again, we dig deeper into this in other trainings, but these are the things you need to have in place in order to have a thriving culture. And if you want to have a culture where people, your team, are excited about, then you're going to make sure they understand the vision. You're going to make sure that the core values are understood, and you sing that every time, that you are about the practices that are going to help them to be successful to make sure that happens. You're going to make sure that the right people are in place, the right people to support them, that they in fact are the right people. Because if you have someone in your organization who's not the right person, but they're spreading stuff and not getting the job done, it can move your A, B, and your players. There's a great book, Good to Great by Jim Collins, talks about having A, B, and C players. And so, sometimes you got the wrong people in place. They can drive down the success of your A players, now become A minus or even Bs. So we got to be mindful of that. And then again, the narrative, the story, and then the place. Okay, so this is how you help to create a thriving culture. Now, this is the last thing that I promised you here, and I hope you're still with me, and hope you're getting a lot of value from this. And here is understanding the rapport from sales. The sales perspective. Now, in the Rapport Selling Academy, we actually talk about the rapport, and RAPPORT actually starts or means for something. And I'm going to kind of go through that real briefly here, but this is how you deliver the type of experience that your customers and members will run to tell their friends and their family about. This is how this will work. But there are 2 angles to this. And one is from the sales perspective. So I'm going to take it right now, the rapport, from our perspective. Okay, so if we're in the branches, if we're helping our customers and our members, this is our perspective, what the rapport selling strategy is about, the methodology is about. Okay, so first thing from our side, we have to give respect. Okay, we need to respect where they are. So respect that member, respect that customer, what they're going through, what they've been through, where they're going in their lives, where they are currently. We have to respect that, because what it does is it allows for us to be able to put ourselves in the right state of mind to be able to add the value that we need to add. The next thing is we need to give a deep appreciation for who they are, where they are, and what they're trying to accomplish and do, so that we can act upon what we need to do, our practices and our behaviors, so that we can absolutely support them, moving them to the next level when it comes to giving them the results that we need to give them. Okay, so having a deep appreciation. Now, our P is presence. We need to be present. We don't need to be concern ourselves with all things going around. I've been in situations where I'm sitting down and the salesperson sitting with me and they're paying attention to other stuff going around. Oh yeah, I'm talking. And the member and the customer doesn't feel like you're present with them, all because you're in everything else. So we got to be present. We got to let them know they're the most important person to us at that moment. The next thing, the possibilities. We've got to paint the possibilities for them. We got to let them know that, hey, this is possible for you. Here's what we can do and what we can help you with. And this is where you are here today, but the possibility is here. And we're going to help connect the dots. You see how that works? See, now I'm not just a salesperson. I am a consultant. I'm an advocate. And I'm assisting them, advising them of what they need to do to take themselves to the next level. I'm offering them possibilities. And when you give people possibilities and they can imagine themselves in a different place, especially if I'm talking about investments or savings and things like that, you're here now, but you can be here later in XYZ amount of years if we put this plan of action in place right now. You see that? I'm giving them the world of possibilities. The next thing is we have to give them opportunities to be able to have the success. How do we have opportunities in place? Well, here's what we can do. Here are the products and the services that we have that you can use in order to reach the possibilities we just got through talking about. But none of that matters if I'm not present. None of that matters if I don't have a deep appreciation for who they are and where they're trying to go. And if I don't truly respect them as my customer or as my member. We've got to be resourceful. Sometimes we won't have the answer, but we got to be able to find the answer. We maybe need to find the person who can get the right information to them. That's all we got to be to them, to that member, that customer. We got to be resourceful. And then last but not least, we've got to have a high level of integrity. We got to do what we're going to say we're going to do. We're going to do it the way we say we're going to do it. We're going to be truthful all the way around. So here's the rapport methodology from our standpoint as our sales side. So now we're going to take it from the other side, and that's where our customers and our members are looking also from the rapport side. So here's what I want to share with you here. So number one, your customer and your members want you to be reliable. Okay? They want to trust that they can depend on you. So we've got to make sure that happens. We also want to make sure that who they're dealing with is authentic. They want to believe who you are. They want to trust who you are. And you're going to shoot it to them straight, okay? Now, the next thing here is that they want you to be present. And now this is powerful. I kind of talked earlier about, people, being distracted with other conversations. I've seen it where there have been situations where cell phones are ringing at the desk. That is not an inviting situation for your customer, your member sitting there. You need to put yourself in a position where the only person who really matters at that point in time is that member, is that customer. That's it. Okay, anything else going on that's totally distracting, basically what it does is it says that I'm not as important as I need to be or as you're saying that I am. Simply because you have all these other things that are taking precedence, okay? So we want to be present. They want you to be present. And now the next thing is that they definitely want you to be patient with them. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see people doing is that we start getting really relaxed on the whole piece around the jargon. So we're in the industry, we get it, we understand, but we got to be careful how we articulate the various, products, services, and things like that, acronyms and things we use with jargon we throw around. And some people, they don't really understand that. But we've got to be very patient with folks. I'll give you another example. While working in the branches, I had a lady, she was 67 years old. She came by, she was convinced by one of our younger customers and to start a brand new checking account with us. And the unique part about this was that it wasn't just a new checking account. It was the first checking account that this particular customer had had in her life. You see, the thing about it is that she did not trust banks. And so she always did things by cash and kept her money. And she came in and this customer deposited $21,000, a little over $21,000 into her brand new account because she kept her money in a mattress. Now, I always thought that was just something people said. It was just an old wise tale, people keeping your money under the mattress. But that's the truth. She literally did that. And so we had to be patient with her and nurturing, and we had to understand her perspective and be willing to hear her out. and be respectful from that standpoint. Now you kind of think about some of the things I talked about from our perspective from the rapport methodology. We had to be respectful, right? We had to make sure that we were honoring where she was and what was going on, and so that all that was important. And so she wanted from us to be patient with her, and so I was very happy to open the account, and she started to use it, and she became very comfortable coming in, and we helped her filling out the paperwork. But at 67 years old, her first account. And so again, this is just an example of, you don't know the person who's sitting in front of you, their story. It's our responsibility to kind of understand their story by asking the right questions to get to understand them better. The next thing is that they want us to be open. They want us to be open. They want us to be honest. They don't want to have to guess things and to kind of have to sit back and really kind of feel you out. They just want you to be truthful and honest and open with them. They want results. That's what they want. They want results. And I talked about this earlier, is that what's in it for me? That's what the member or the customer, that's what they're thinking about. So you can go through a laundry list of benefits, features if you want to, about the stuff you're trying to market to them or sell to them. But at the end of the day, they're trying to figure out, how is this going to add value to me? Like, how is this going to help my situation? And if you go through every situation talking like that, and what I like, this is the word right here. Ready? Empathy. Empathy. That means I can put myself in your situation, in your shoes. And if we have more people who empathize with our customers, and remember, you have your people who are focused around that, then you're gonna witness more result type things, transactions happening, versus I'm just gonna go through the motions here. So the member, the customer, is looking through and looking for a result. That's really what they're looking for. They're also looking for something I call transformation. They want to be in this position here, move from here to this level here. And you have the ability to do that. Your front-facing, member-facing, customer-facing employees, sales professionals, because that's what we're creating now, right? Sales professionals. They have the ability to transform the situation of that member, transform the situation or the circumstance of that customer, if they follow these core principles that I've kind of outlined for you today. Everything from a mindset shift all the way through. So that's what they're looking for with us when they sit down. They're looking for the result, and they're looking for transformation. How can you help me? How can you help my situation? And if you can solve for that, then basically you can move yourself to the next level and really supply them with everything that they're needing. And maybe it's not all today. Again, remember the Og Mandino says that, hey, look, you got to always do your best. Right? You plant a seed today and you can reap a harvest tomorrow, but you got to have that mentality. So we've got to just really focus on the core things that's going to add the value that we know that we need to add. So in my wrap up today, these are the takeaways, okay? The takeaways, and I hope that I've done a great job of really outlining some of the core concepts that you can take right now and start to getting your managers start to talk about and your leadership to start talking about, so that we can start getting these core concepts laid out to them. These are the things you need to be looking at. We need to get mindset shifts around here, right? So the first thing is we want to develop sales professionals, okay, who focus on the most important thing, and that's your customers and your members. That's what we need. We need them focusing on the customer and the member. What's in it for them? What's most important to them, so we can provide the results, the outcomes that they're looking for. If we can focus on that, then we'll have success, because now we can generate more sales, we can generate more profits as an institution, because what's happened is we're building long-lasting relationships, and people want to do business with you. They want to refer to you. And if we have more referrals coming, we have more people who are saying yes, because they love the way that we leverage. We have a culture that's conducive to this success. And then we build them on the rapport methodology that I kind of outlined high level for you. Then this is what you can look forward to. And so our sales professional is going to focus on that. The next thing that we talked about today was that we create a culture of customer member focused team members, right? And they know the core beliefs and they act on them with passion, with clarity, and with certainty. We need to have a team that they are passionate about what they do. We need to have a team that is absolutely clear on our objectives and our values and our core practices and how we're going to add that world-class type of service, member experience, and customer experience for all of the folks who come through our doors. We need to have a team that's sold out to that, and they need to be certain about the part they play and to help this story to be successful. See, every single day we're writing the story of our institution, right? We talked about the narrative. to create an ultimate culture, a successful, thriving culture. We need to have our narrative right, our success story right. Well, every day we write our story about how we treat our customers and our members. We're writing our story. Okay? And then, of course, last but not least, set the standard for excellence and realize what your customers and members demand from you as an organization. And what they demand are the things we outlined with the rapport methodology, both from our perspective from the sales side, as well as the perspective from the member or the customer. Okay, so here are our big takeaways. So I hope again that this was absolutely incredible for you. Now, this is what I want to share with you. How can I help and how can I add more value to you? So my team and I have set aside some time this week to speak with you personally about how we can help you to apply some of these ideas to your financial institution starting today. And I'm excited about that because, as you can tell, I'm passionate about this. I know what it takes in order to have a team that is driving production, achieving sales, but at the same time, they're building that lifelong relationship, building the rapport that's necessary to have success. So we have some time set aside that we can speak with you. I'd love to do that. Because today what I've done is I've shown you in broad strokes a lot of the process that I kind of go through in the Rapport Selling Academy and the Branch Manager Mastery programs to try to help to build the financial institution and take it to the next level, to make sure that at that granular level, at that belly-to-belly, face-to-face level, we're building that rapport. Because again, your customers and your members, they're not stupid, they're savvy. Okay, they are well learned. They have all the information they need in the palm of their hands. You have to arm yourself. Let me tell you something. Branches are back. Yes, we do have people who are using online banking and mobile apps and things of that nature, but people are demanding a relationship now. And we've got to get good at building that true relationship. And if we miss it, we're going to miss the buck. And the people who are moving to the next level in the future, it's going to swing back around. It's got to be the folks who are sold on the idea and understanding, how do I build that rapport with our customers and our members? Now, how we continue to help? But the truth of the whole matter is this, is that each financial institution is absolutely different. So we've got to be able to know, you got to know how to apply these core principles that I've kind of outlined in these shifts to your business. You have to do that specifically. So there's some things that needs to be kind of done for you that may not be the same for another credit union in a nearby city or a nearby state, right? Or the community bank in another state versus your bank. So your situation is different. So what we do is that we look at that because we know that your institution is unique, and we take a look at that in the conversation that we have. And if you'd like to explore how that we may be able to help you and to help to implement some of these strategies we discussed and many, many more ways that we can help you, we're more than happy to get on the phone with you and to kind of discuss some of the exact ways that we can take to the next steps so we can show you how that we may be able to add some value to you. So what do you do next? Well, the first thing, there is a button below this video. There's some information here. I'd like for you to click on that and to go ahead and schedule your call. So click the button below and schedule your call, okay? So we can go ahead and get you started. The next thing is that we want you to do is we want you to select a time and a date for your revenue through relationship discovery call. And that's what it is. And we get on the phone with you, we talk to you, and I'm going to share with you exactly what we do here in detail here in a second, but we want to get you to go ahead and click on the button now, schedule the call, and I want you to hurry up because, and really do it. If any of this has resonated with you, if any of this has helped you, if any of this said, you know what, yes, my team, really, they're not at that level yet. My team really not at the level where I can believe that from a mental shift standpoint, that they're thinking through these core concepts so that we can add the value. I'm not confident whether or not my team really understands these core rapport methodologies, the stuff that you talked about. I'd like to understand how we can get that into my team so they can understand this, so that they can build a lifelong relationship. So at the end of the day, it builds a stronger financial institution. But not only that, but it adds the world-class experience that you want. You want for your customers and your members. You know that your customers and your members need, they desire, and they just gotta have, because they want transformation and results. And so we want to help you do that. Okay, so schedule the call. We want you to hurry up to do that, simply because of this. We getting phone calls left and right. People are scheduling these, and we have only so many we can do, but we have scheduled this time. We have some time that's open. We want you to go ahead and select your time and do that. So please click on the button below to help do that. So what's what you can expect when you come on the call. So number one, you're going to gain some clarity We're going to help you gain some clarity on where your customer, your member-facing personnel, your sales folks, where they are right now in terms of how they're delivering world-class service and the skill level that they may be at right now. So we're going to help gain some clarity for you there. The next thing is that we're going to discover ways of how we can create a culture that will nurture the growth of your team so that we can help them to become the sales professionals and leaders that they need to be. So we're going to help your platform. We're going to help your management team. So we're going to just kind of talk about some things that we can help with the culture piece to help take your institution to the next level. And then last but not least, we're going to determine if our training programs here can help you do that, okay? Can help you to achieve your goals of developing your folks into professional salespeople and to building stronger customer and member relationships. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help you to do that. And so on the call, we'll figure out if we can help you out. I believe that we can. I've seen it work. I know that it works. Not only did it work for me personally in my experience as doing this, but it also has helped other people that we've helped as well. So go ahead, and we just want you to go ahead and schedule a call right now. Click the button below. Let's get your call scheduled. Let's have the conversation. Let's see if we can add the value, because I know that you want to have next level experience here for your members and your customers, and you want your people to be successful as well. So I'm excited for you. And this Rapport Selling Academy is absolutely incredible. It's the next level in training. Nothing like this in the industry that takes care of mindset, the psychology of sales, the whole way of how to build a rapport so we build a long lasting relationship, not just the one quick now, how do we just close the deal. It's bigger than that. It's important to understand the rapport has got to be built. So now you have a raving group of fans that are going to go out and sing your praises. And they're going to bring more people to your financial institution because of how you treat them. And at the same time, while all that's happening, you're driving sales, you're driving production. And then the branch manager mastery program, coaching, helping your leaders coach to this so that they too know how to help. This is the deal. If we help your people to be phenomenal at building rapport and driving sales and production, but your managers can't coach to it, that's a problem. So we want to empower your leaders to be able to coach to this and to be able to help them as well to be world-class leaders, to drive the production and to be able to be the mentors and the coaches that they need to be for the entire team. So again, go ahead and schedule your call. Click the button below. I look forward to speaking with you. And once again, this is J.A. Darden. It's been my honor. It's been my pleasure. It's been absolutely incredible to share this information with you. And I know that if you would just take this information and start to implement this, start having conversations with your team, and go ahead and schedule the call with us, and let's go ahead and get the call set up so that we can add the value, continued value, and see ways that we'd be able to help to take your financial institution to the next level, creating sales professionals that's delivering world-class experience for your members or your customers. With that, have a wonderful, wonderful day. We look forward to speaking with you on the call real soon. Take care.